Hi guys, I'm Woodcraft Hamster and I thought I'd do another quick video today on making our Applewood bowl. So this is where we've got to for the time being. And what I've done is I've just cut down the handles a little bit so they're a little bit more even, they're a little bit shorter, still fit quite nicely in the hand. I've kind of just finished off sort of the rough carving around the outside of the bowl. Certainly not massively even, but I'm going for that kind of rustic charm. And also the inside is pretty much done. I might give it a bit more of a final finish with the smoothing gouge. So for the purpose of today's video, what I'm going to be doing is sanding this, at least rough sanding it to start with, just to get rid of a lot of the imperfections, to smooth the sides down, ready for final sanding and finishing. And what I'm going to be using predominantly today is this. Now this is something that I knocked up this afternoon. I saw something online recently. It was something that you buy and you can get these sanding pads that have got Velcro on the back that you stick to it. It was actually quite a clever design, and essentially there was a curve here where your sanding belt would run. You can put your hand inside, and as you put this down onto your piece of work, it ever so slightly sort of curves inwards, so it's great for obviously sanding curved surfaces. And really all this is a piece of birch that I had knocking around. I've carved a sort of an archway out of it. It's by no means perfect. I've put 3 slots in. Let me remove that so you can see it. So one here, one there and one there. What it allows me to do is just fold this piece of sanding belt so it locks in on one side, and then I take the other, I pull it tight, and I just use my hand to hold that steady, and then I've got this nice piece of sanding paper here that's fairly firm but still got a little bit of give in it for if I'm kind of sanding something on a rounded surface. So that's what I'm going to be using. I really should have done a video about making this, and I think I might do that for another time. I'll certainly do a little mini review on this just so you guys can kind of see what it is. And if you want to see me making another one, because I think I'm going to sort of rework the design a bit anyway, then I'll happily do that. But let me bring the camera just a little bit closer in, guys, and we'll make a start on sanding this bowl. Right then guys, so I'm going to start off with the outside of the bowl, and as you can see, so this is the sander that I'm using, and I can fit my hand under here quite nicely. I'm using my thumb to hold this piece on the top, and if I just give you a bit of a close-up so you can see that as I press this piece of sandpaper down, it curves to the contour of the bowl, and that's going to be really useful. Now I'm not going to bore you with all of this, and I must admit sanding is the most dreaded part of carving for me, certainly on something like this, because there's a lot of tool marks here and I just find it really boring, which is one reason I'm hoping this will kind of speed up the process a bit. But essentially this is all I'm going to be doing. If I just give this sort of a 30-second blast or so just to see if I can show you a bit of the difference. So again, hopefully you can see from the camera there that, you know, I've actually done quite a bit of work in quite a short space of time here, and that's really what I was hoping for. This, it just gives you a little bit more power. You're not using the back of your fingers or something like that where it tends to warm up and get hot. I've lost count of the amount of times I've kind of, or it certainly feels like I've burnt my fingertips when I'm sanding. And what I'll do, I'm just going to spend sort of 5 or 10 minutes working my way around this bowl, and I'll come back when we've made a bit of progress. Right then guys, well, whilst I've been doing this, I've hit on a little technique that I thought I'd share with you just after I've discovered it. So basically we've got the bowl here, obviously. Underneath this I've got what actually turns out to be a tin of all-day breakfast, and that normally lives in one of my packs, and just a cloth that's been folded over a couple of times to go over the top. And by putting that on there like that, and then taking my little sanding block, what I'm actually able to do is maneuver this around to wherever I need to get to without having to try and press it down on the bench, which can be a little bit difficult. And basically I'll start off, say, here. It also keeps this kind of off the deck, so I'm not constantly doing this and hitting my workbench. And then I can tilt this round, come up to another angle, I can stand up, I can work on the other side as well, and it just gives me a little bit of versatility. So again, if you are using something like this, it just gives you that little bit more flexibility to work around your workpiece without having to have it flat down onto a table. Right then guys, well this is I think where I'm going to leave it today. As I may have already said, I really dislike sanding. It's just my the part of carving and woodworking that I really don't enjoy. So what I've done, I've given a very basic sanding, sort of first initial rough sanding all over. So that's outside of the bowl. There's still a lot of tool marks in there, as you can see. Done a quick whiz round the inside of the bowl, and again also still a lot of tool marks. I have started to slightly round off the edges on the outside and the inside of the bowl, which is the look I want to go for finally. I'm going to round these handle pieces down as well a little bit. And what I'll do between now and the next video, I'll completely finish off this sanding. I won't bore you with it, and I'm certainly not doing any more today. So I will come back hopefully for next week with this fully sanded down and ready for final finishing. And as I say, I will hopefully do another video about this little sanding block, whatever you want to call it, and I'll give you a few details on how I made it and what I think. But anyway guys, I hope it was useful. As always, comments and questions in the box below. Hit like and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I hope you'll all join me next time. Thanks guys.